But this is one piece I like to harp on: education and crime. How can you? I believe you can't improve the schools until you improve the families. So how do you improve the families of Gary? That will eventually improve the schools of Gary. That will improve everything about Gary.
So you make it sound like it's so hard. It's not hard. Stopping the killing isn't hard. And people say, well, what do you mean? Love is the answer to stopping the killing. With the education part, you got to understand this. You got to look at what is the challenge for urban America when it comes to education. And that means that you have to have primarily African American males inspired. What is the reason for a black male to be inspired right now? Me being elected mayor will allow me to be in front of all of these young people and inspire them and let them know that you can come from the bottom and you can make it. So it makes sense for you to get your education. Once they're inspired, then you have to challenge them so that they can move forward. We have kindergarten university here all the way up to 12th grade university. The concept is reinforcement schools. We're going to have the first graders help the kindergartners, the fourth graders help the third graders, the 12th graders help the 11th graders. We're going to put incentives there so that the best math person in third grade can help the worst math person in second grade. We have to create this environment where education is exciting and people are inspired, and then you got to infuse it with resources so that there's incentives there. We're already doing it with no money, so as mayor, we're going to be able to do it at a whole nother level. So I'm excited about education here in Gary, Indiana.
So as an organizer, you're taking your organizing prowess, your expertise, your organizing expertise, and do something different.
Totally different.
To the city of Gary. What I'm trying to say though is that Gary had, I think Mayor Hatchett became mayor when I was a kid. I was like in second grade or first grade.
He's the first African American mayor. Him and the mayor of Cleveland, they both was elected the same year in America.
And what I'm trying to say is that Gary has tried traditional politics for over 40 years. It really hasn't worked. Do you think, Mr. Smith, that the citizens of Gary would make a change and try something new by considering your candidacy for mayor?
So the challenge for me is, we have 57 days to go to the election. Can I reach enough people to allow them to voice their frustration so that I can clear up any ambiguity that they may have? I know for a fact the people that I'm able to engage and talk to, they love the idea. They love Googling my name and looking at the history and track record of doing this. And so if I can reach the people, I believe we're going to win them over, because at the end of the day, whether you grew up with the incumbent or grew up with one of the candidates, everyone wants to improve their own quality of life. Whoever can get me there, that's all that matters. I don't care about friendship as much as I do you keeping my son alive. You helping my daughter get through college. You helping me make sure my lights and gas is not being cut off. You helping me get a job. Those are the things people care about. Your friendship is secondary. So if I reach people and I'm able to sell that vision to them, I think we got them, because it just makes sense for them to elect someone with a history and track record of being successful at that.
Are the citizens of Gary want change? Change is scary, because even if you became mayor and you start bringing hotels here and businesses here, some of the residents will be intimidated and threatened by Gary actually improving. I'm saying that some people don't want Gary to improve. I really believe some citizens really don't want Gary to improve, because that's actually a threat to their way of life.
Well, I disagree. Here's what I believe. I believe that every single person wakes up in the morning with the desire of wanting to be successful. That's what I believe. And so, having said that, when people are intimidated, afraid, or frightened, it's because they lack the information that'll help make them feel secure of their role in the change. I work at an accounting firm, global accounting firm, and I meet with all types of people. And I'm telling you, one of the key things when you're dealing with different cultures, ways of life, is you got to give people the right amount of information for where they are. So if you're someone that's not accustomed to all this rapid change, then we might have to give you more information than we would someone that they used to change. And so I believe that everyone wants to improve, and we just got to feed them the right amount of information so they can see where they fit in the change. Because at the end of the day, the change is good for them, but you got to make sure that they understand that. So that's what I believe.
No, I really believe that people would rather vote for the incumbent or someone they know versus somebody they don't really know, because that represents change. I really believe that change is hard. I mean, even people like me, you got to lose weight. But losing weight means I got to eat less and exercise. Oh, that hurts, man.
Right.
So I mean, so I'm saying even if you win, there's gonna be some people like, man, things are getting better, but I don't know. Other people coming in from different cities, and other folks are coming here, and the governor's doing things. I think some people, I bet you half the folks in this town, and I could be wrong, and I want you to prove me wrong, really don't want Gary to change. They want Gary to continue to decline because that makes them comfortable.
Well, again, I disagree. Here's what I would say. Change is difficult. And that's for everyone. Blacks, whites, Mexicans, doesn't matter. Change is difficult. But the way you help anyone through change is that you hold their hand and you guide them through the process. See, change isn't as hard when you have someone there to give you layers of support or to help nurture and answer your questions along the way. There's 86,400 seconds. You may have a question at that 360-second mark that if no one is around, you're going to get back into your comfort zone, so you say, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go back to what I'm comfortable with. So that doesn't mean you don't want to change. You just need to operate with a certain level of comfort, and change represents me being out of my comfort zone. So I have to have someone in place to help bring them along. That's shame on me as a leader if I don't have the strike team behind me to make sure that we hold hands where necessary to help people see their way to a better life.
The Republican Party here in Indiana, throughout the country, they're very successful in certain, districts or cities or towns because they have a clear, simple message where people can understand. When they see Syron Smith, is your message and your vision of Gary too difficult, too easy, too complex for people to understand? Or are you trying to give them something simple where they can say, I can bite off this, and I get it, Mr. Smith. Right. Because I'm telling you, when I hear you talk, it sounds too complicated, too comprehensive. I'm not saying that people are Gary dumb. I'm just saying folks want something simple. Do you have a simple message for the masses of Gary?
So here's the deal, and I got to push back on this because I get this from people. I'm one of the most brief people in the world. I get criticized for how quickly I come in and out of a meeting because I don't require a lot from me. It's real basic, right? The bottom line is we're going to help people get to where they're trying to go in life. That's it. So that can be the end of my message right there. The problem is the audience want to know more. Then when you give them more, then they say that's too much. Syron Smith will represent someone in your life to help you along the way. If it's something with education, I have a plan to help you with education. If it's something with safety, I have a plan to help you along the way. You got something with your elderly parents, I got something to help you. So it can be as simple as Cy Smith on your side helping you. Simple. Don't get no simpler than that. But people want to know more, and then when you start giving them the codes and all that, now it bogs them down. So it can be very simple. Cy has a history of being on your side, who has a strategic way of helping.
Okay, I'm looking at your sign over there. It says Cy on your side. Syron is your name. You're on the ballot, Syron. Cy is on your side.
Right.
Okay, are you going to give me a job?
What I'm going to do, job to me, and some people who came up with this, is just over broke. I'm more concerned about where are you trying to go in.
No, people say, I don't want to hear that. I want a job, Mr. Smith. I don't want to hear no philosophy. I want a job. I got to eat.
I get that. If you want to be just over broke, we'll help you get just over broke. I'm going to try to work with you on another level. So short term, we get you a job. We get you a job. But I'm more concerned about where you're trying to go with your life so we can help you get there. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. So we'll get you short-term job, just over broke, and we'll work on long-term, which is where you
Okay, I'm going to say it again. When you become mayor, can I come down to City Hall, or you got an office somewhere on Broadway where I can come in and you're going to help me get a job? That's all I care about. If you become mayor, are you going to have an office at City Hall, some storefront on Broadway where I can come, or any citizen of Gary who ain't got no job, and I said that, ain't got no job, or want a new job, can I come there and get a job?
All right, so let me do this because I don't want to be one of the politicians that make promises that they can't fulfill. What I'm saying to every single person here in Gary, already, right now, I have Wednesdays set aside for job development, job training, and job execution every Wednesday. So 4 times a month under my administration, you're going to be able to go into your zip code.
Yeah, but I want to go. I want a job Monday.
Well, you might.
I don't want to wait till Wednesday.
Can you pass the drug test? Do you have a back? It's things that has to be done. So I don't want to promise you that everyone is going to get a job. What I can tell you is if you work with me, I'll make sure that we get your life in a position where you can either have a job or you can open up your own company, and I help you get contracts. That's what's real to me. Not just telling everybody you're going to have a job. Some people may start their own landscaping business, and I give you 30 customers who's going to make sure you got over $1,500 a month coming in. So I'm that type of leader that will assess your personal situation and help you along the way.
Okay, but let me say this again. Are you going to have an office or a storefront when you become Mayor Gary where I can go in and y'all going to get me a job?
7 offices. There are 7 zip codes. We're going to have a place in every zip code where you go and you sign up so we can help you get your life stable economically. Whether it's a job, whether it's contracts, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a small business loan, because that's part of my plan, is working with the SBA, Federal Reserve in Chicago, to make sure we anchor right here economically in Gary, Indiana.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, how you gonna stop this killing? Now, if I was a citizen of Gary and I talked to you personally, I would say, dude, you gonna stop this crime? If you don't, I'm moving. If you don't stop this crime, Mr. Smith, I'm moving out of Gary. Are you gonna stop this crime?
No doubt. I started my whole life story, for those who don't know. I grew up in Cabrini Green, Jane Addams in Chicago. At 6 years old, I prayed to God on how to stop this killing. And so this is 1981 that I've been passionate about the violence and the killing, because that's what I saw in the projects of Chicago. So that's my #1 issue, is dealing with the violence. What I've come up with over the years with this, and my naval travel around the world helped me see this, the way you stop the violence is simple. It's with love. Violence, love. Now, people say, well, what does that mean? That means you have to have a way of making sure that every single person by zip code has someone in their life to help them along the way. If it's safety, that's Monday. If it's education, it's Tuesday. If I'm dropping out of school and no one's loving me, I might say, F it, go get a gun and kill somebody. So you need to make certain, and that's what I've already done, is I built a daily living habit structure to make sure everyone gets some love. And with love, I'm almost guaranteeing we're going to stop this killing, which is really self-hate.
Give us a closing. Give the people a closing statement, and why should the people of Gary vote for you? Give me a statement.
So my closing argument is simple. We're at a tipping point here in Gary, Indiana, and urban America. If we don't change and put someone different in office, if we keep voting party lines alone, I'm telling you what's going to happen. That's more the same. We need to put someone in office that's connected block by block, from a grassroots up, meaning I hear from you. And to the voters of Gary, yes, I'm an outsider, but I think God spiritually wants an outsider in office so that I can represent everyone. I don't owe favors to the Democratic side or the Republican side. I will be able to represent you. Google my name, see my history, 20-year history of paying out of my own pocket to make sure children are exposed around the country, whether it's New York, Atlanta, Detroit. So as a mayor with more resources, without me working 2 jobs, I will be able to do that at a level that you've never seen before. So vote for Cy Smith, Tuesday, November 3rd. We prefer you early voted, but Tuesday, November 3rd, 57 days from today. Website is www.friendsofcysmith.com. Phone number is 219-588-1779, 219-588-1779. Thank you very much.